Hello, this is Eric. Welcome back to part 3 of this Blender for Beginners tutorial series. And this time I'm going to show you how to move the object around inside the 3D view. Move or grab, as they also call it here in Blender. Now, the first way to move an object I'm going to show you is actually to use the hotkey, which is G for grab. And as soon as I press the G key, the object will actually follow my cursor around, so I can place it wherever I want. But by moving it like this in perspective view, it's quite tricky because it moves in all directions. It moves along the x-axis, the y-axis, which is the green one, and also the z-axis, which goes upwards towards the top. So it moves in all three directions. So this moving an object in perspective without any constraints, that's really not recommended, because that will only you won't be able to tell exactly where the object will be moved. Because if I move it, say I want to move it just along the x-axis, something like that, and then I look around and I can see no, it's actually moved down. And it's also moved along the y-axis as well, and that's not what I wanted. Or maybe it is, I don't know, but probably not. Now, there are several other ways to move, and you can see these arrows in the middle here. You can see there's a blue arrow, faintly, there it is, the blue arrow, and you can see the green arrow and the red arrow. Now, by left clicking and dragging these arrows, left click on the green arrow and then slide back and forth, I'm actually constraining the movement to the y-axis. And if I go back and I do it with the red arrow, I can actually move the object in constraint to the x-axis. So it's only moving along the x-axis at this point. And if I try the blue arrow, I think you can guess which way this will constrain your movement. That's right, along the z-axis. And the third way I'm going to tell you about is actually to use these controls that you can see here, which this menu can be toggled on and off with the N key. So the N key controls this menu right here. And you can see that at the top we have the location, and this is the location of the object that you have selected. And right now the origin of the object is placed at the origin of the coordinate system. So it's 0, 0, 0. But if I want to move this object along the x-axis, I can actually press this field, left mouse button, and then move slide the mouse to the right to increase the value, and slide the mouse to the left to decrease this value. Right, left, right, left. And of course I can do this with all the other values as well. But you can also, if you just single click on this one, you can actually enter a number here. So if I want to move it to x equals 2, I just enter 2. And the cube will move to x equals 2, as we can see here. Now, moving is something you will do a lot, so there's actually a shorter and quicker way to do this, and that's again to use the G, the short key G, to grab. And if I want to move it just along the x-axis, I can follow that with an X. So I've already pressed G, now I can press X, and now if I move my mouse, I have the constraint on the x-axis. So I press G once to grab, and then X to constrain it to the x-axis. And now I can left click anywhere if I want to drop it. So I'll left click there, boom, and it's moved to that location. But if I want to be more precise, I can do that again. I can press G, and in this case I can press Y to control it in the Y direction, and you can see it's constrained in the Y direction. And then if I want it to be moved exactly 2 units, I can simply press 2 and it will go there. And then I have to follow it with an enter. So now it's moved to that location, which is Y equals 2. You will be doing a lot of moving, which means that you really need to learn this, and I really recommend that you learn the short way of it, which is using the short keys for grab, then selecting which kind of constraint you want. If you want it in the Z direction and you want to move it down, say 2 units, I press -2 and then enter. So I really recommend that you practice this, because this way this will speed up your workflow a lot. That's enough for this episode, and in the next one I will tell you about the edit mode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.